Hi guys, hope you're well, hope you're staying safe, hope you're staying sane, more to the point. Sorry it's been a while. I am extremely busy with music and there's lots of content and stuff which is going to be coming out this year, both on YouTube and Spotify, Instagram, all the rest of it. So like, subscribe and all that malarkey to keep up. And I'll be releasing some of my own songs this year, which I've been dying to do for ages. Things have got in the way, but now it's just the case of like, I'm just gonna put it out there anyway. This is an interview that I did with a mate of mine, Becky. I'll link her channel down below. She's brilliant and we had a good laugh doing it. The idea of the interview was so that you guys would get a better idea of who I am rather than just the guy that comes on and does the odd review and plays the odd instruments every now and again. The reason it's taken so long to get this video out there, because we literally did it ages ago, was because we lost a lot of the footage, but most of it's been recovered now. So you'll see it sort of like just goes to one camera angle halfway through, but it's fine, you get like the whole interview anyway. So enjoy and I'll see you all soon.
Hello, my name is Becky and today I'm going to be talking to Kieron to find out a little bit more about him, to find out what he's up to at the moment and to answer some questions that you guys have sent in. I feel like we should do something that loosens us up first.
Cheers!
Yeah, like, oh my god.
We'll keep that in.
Right, so I want to ask first of all about the background. Let's wind back a little bit.
Musical background?
Yes, we'll stick to that for now. So when did you first get involved in music? What sort of brought that about?
I wanted to make my mum I wanted to impress my mum. So she used to play the violin. So a violin tutor came into school, started playing. I thought, wow, that's amazing. She said, turn up next Tuesday and I'll teach you. Did that all in secret, and then about 2 weeks later sort of came home because I had to start practicing, and my mum was like, what's this? And I was like, it's a violin. So I did it for her.
So violin's obviously not the only instrument you play, so how did the rest of them sort of get into that? How did they come into it?
When lads start playing guitars in school and attracting the opposite sex more and stuff like that, I wanted to get into it more. And
so you're telling me this whole career has come about to try and impress the opposite sex?
No, I do enjoy it. I get a buzz off it in loads of different ways, the writing, the recording and the performing. But back then, adolescent, teen, it's just like, the violin wasn't doing it for me. So.
And of course then the singing came about as well. Did that come about sort of at the same time or a bit later on, or?
I kind of like, when you play the guitar and you're trying to show people, even just like, oh, I'm up to this bit in the song, sometimes the chords don't, you like, it's the bit where you go, no, 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 no. And then they're like, oh, got ya. And then when the band was looking for singers to join, they were always like, well, why don't you just sing? But I was never that confident to be like the front guy. Did the odd backing vocal.
So did you ever have, did you have lessons? Did you, like, who taught you to sing, or did you kind of just?
I've never, until The Voice, had a vocal lesson.
Oh really?
Yeah. Which was an eye-opener, because I was like, wow, I really should have got vocal lessons. Because you learn a lot and you're like, how much better would I be if I would have done? And having done that, and it's like a year on from that now, I've seen the progression, just even in technique, strength, control, and I'm like, damn.
So it sounds like from what you're saying that at that point you maybe didn't take it as seriously. So what point did you think, you know, this could be something I could really do, or I might audition for something like The Voice or something like that?
Well, in all honesty, when I think back, I think the whole audition for The Voice was actually for my mum, because I was doing loads of music anyway, and she was always like, why don't you do such and such a show? How about this one? And that was the one that sort of stood out to me, because it's a proper live band. You're working with proper musicians. It's not just a backing track and trying to put on a good show that looks good. It was more about the music.
So that experience then, the whole thing start to finish, I mean, if you could have 3 words to describe it, first of all, I know this is really cliche.
Yeah.
If you could have 3 words to describe it, how would you describe that whole experience?
I'll just go for 3 words sort of together, like, can't believe it. Like, you know, like,
simple.
yeah. Like, I'm not gonna go sort of like, unbelievable, wow. It was just like, I look back and I'll watch it and I'll still sort of like remember how I was feeling going on the stage. And
how did it feel?
Oh, the actual stage bit, well, the 2 stage performances, just like the most nervous you could ever feel, or I've ever felt. I can't think of any other time in my life when I've sort of, it was like an out of body thing. A lot of people say that. Yeah, but it was just sort of like, what am I doing here? Like, it's not just, it's like you could do a gig to a couple hundred people and they pass on the message, that guy was crap or whatever. That's the worst thing that could happen. But going on telly, I mean, you know.
You said earlier that you kind of felt like you were doing it for your mum a little bit.
Yeah.
What was your mum's reaction when she saw you then, and when you did that?
Well, even just the whole build-up, do you know you're not allowed to tell anyone?
Oh, okay, really?
Secret right up, even like on the night you're gonna be shown on TV. Not
Is that hard?
Yeah.
I feel like I'd be like, oh.
I'm good with secrets, but I like to keep myself busy and I'm here and there. So there was like a stag do that I cancelled, for instance. So people are like, why aren't you going on the stag do?
And so like, you know, looking back on it now, what would you say is the highlight? What was the kind of big moment for you?
I started by saying, even if I just get to practice with that band, that'll be the highlight. And even if I go on stage and it's crap, you know, they might not even show it anyway, because I don't know if you know, 100 people get selected by the producers to do the blind audition, but they only show probably 70 to 80 of them, which is unfortunate. But then if I did, like, say you really messed up your lyrics, I wouldn't want that going on telly. So I'd probably say to the producers, look, thanks for everything, but can you not put me messing up on telly, please?
Glad that didn't happen though.
Yeah, thank God, yeah. But when you think about, like, I was a guy who was an engineer as a day job, it wouldn't have mattered if I messed up. Like, it wouldn't be life ending or career ending. Some people who it's like a career ending sort of performance.
I just want to pick up on something you just said, because something people might not realise is that music isn't your day job.
No.
It's not what you do every day. It's not what you kind of are doing right now. What do you do outside of music? What's your job?
So my
it couldn't be more different, really.
We design and occasionally build as well underground high voltage cables, so like things that power buildings, and also transmission lines, which are the overhead, the big ugly steel pylon things. Yeah. So,
I'm following. I just feel like I'm probably not the only one watching this that's going, what? What?
So they need to get there, and we're one of the companies that will design where they go, why they're going there and not somewhere else, like why they're in that guy's field and not that guy's field. And so my last band broke up, and even though we did, I didn't have it in me to start again, or even try and like recover some of the members from that band, for instance. I was just like, I'm just gonna, you know, technically go solo, but it's not gonna be like this official thing. And then I just sort of found a love for doing covers online, did YouTube, and if it wasn't for YouTube, the scouts for the voice and stuff wouldn't have found me.
Have you ever had a kind of knockback that made you go, oh, maybe this isn't?
When you're talking like musical, you're crap, you shouldn't be playing anymore, or
you've had things like that?
Yeah, loads. My first ever video I put on YouTube, first ever comment was something like, he just sounds like one of these rip-off X Factory types or something like that. And I've still left that comment there.
I mean, you seem pretty chill about that now, but you know, at the time, did that really bother you? How do you kind of cope with something like that?
Well, a lot of people don't know this, but YouTube is probably the bitchiest of the social medias. People don't even see YouTube as a social media, but it's become more and more like one.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you've noticed, but if you look at ITV videos, they have the comments switched off. I was sort of like, okay, you can expect some, like, it's not going to be for everyone, is it? But then most of my videos get more thumbs up than thumbs down, so I've got to think.
So is that your way of, I suppose, coping, kind of rationalising and going, do you know what, there's more positivity than negativity?
Yeah.
Negativity, like.
But even if there was a video with like tons of thumbs down, I'd just use it as a learning device.
So I suppose that's something that a lot of people, musicians, people in all sorts of industries experience, you know. What would be your advice to people who are maybe seeing nasty tweets, nasty comments that are kind of getting them down a little bit and putting them off doing what they're doing?
Obvious advice is just like keep going, keep practice makes perfect and all that. But if you really want to boost and like get back, say like you've had a knockdown, it's completely, you're like, I'm done with music, or even like any of the arts, because you know a lot of the arts you don't get paid for, you're just doing it out of your own enjoyment, for people's entertainment or love of the art, whatever type it is. With music, there's so many good examples out there. I remember Ed Sheeran was like, listen to me singing back in the day, and everyone's like, wow. And he's like, yeah, I keep that recording on my phone so I remind myself of where I am now. So just in case, like, for him it would be like, just in case I didn't make $1 million on that last record, I'll be listening to this going, but at least it made $500,000 or whatever. But like, you know, put your, you know, get your comparison sort of filters correct. For me, it will be, okay, it didn't get like 5,000 plays on YouTube, but it wasn't as bad as the other one.
So I feel like these last few questions have been quite deep. So we've kind of seen a little bit about what you're like as a person. You know, bit of a sidetrack here, but how would you sort of describe yourself as a person? So forget music, forget the career, whatever else. As a person, how would you sort of describe yourself? What are you like?
I honestly still think I'm shy, but which people are just like...
I raised my eyebrow because I'm surprised at that answer.
People are just always like, what do you mean you're shy? Like, a lot of people say, I remember you as a kid, for instance. This is like neighbours always tend to have this. They're like, you as a kid, you'd be afraid to even say like hello on the street, even though like we know you and all the rest of it. It's like, well, why wouldn't you even say hello? I sort of just woke up one day and I was like, even though I'm afraid of the whole sort of like, hey, how's it going, whatever, like if I get in the lift at work or in my own building where I live, I'm forcing myself nowadays to make the effort to say hello.
So kind of going back to the voice then, is there any way that either changed you or changed your perspective or anything like that? Was there anything about that changed you as a person, or how you view the industry, or how you view things?
I'd say yeah, it does. The main thing was because one, just getting on TV and then getting on a team as well, it kind of makes me think, okay, I'm not crap, or I'm not completely crap. I'm at least good in some way.
Was there a part of you that thought that beforehand then? Was there a part of you that thought, maybe I'm just crap?
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
I like, or maybe I'm just really good at winging it. You know,
like all of us. I'm winging it now with this question.
Thanks for winging this, by the way. I really appreciate you winging.
So I just have one more question about the voice, really. You know, it must have been difficult in some ways. I imagine, you know, it wasn't all, you know, all as exciting, as wonderful as we all see it as viewers. Was there any part of it that was really challenging, really difficult, or, you know, really hard for you, I suppose?
It's very demanding. One particular moment stands out. So this is like, you know, weeks before I'm even like doing any other telly stuff. It was just, I think it was selecting the song. And everyone who works on that show, by the way, are like the most upbeat, lovely people. They can't do enough for you. You can call them up at any point and be like, you know, I'm not feeling too good about something, can you help me out? Like, they are honestly like that good.
Oh, good, yeah.
And I remember this moment where I was in work and I had a client, obviously I can't name names or companies or anything like that, but I had a client that was, let's just say, bang out of order, and they were chatting to me on the phone like, you know, I was something off the end of the shoe. And I was just like really trying to keep me cool because they're my client. Like, I can't tell them where to stick it, you know what I mean?
Even if you want to.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, that's just like being professional. And so I came off that phone call literally like close to like tears almost. Feeling
I
like,
don't know why I'm laughing, that was horrible, sorry.
Thanks. Feeling like humiliated and really degraded and kind of like, am I even worth like being an engineer at this point? Like all this effort to be told like that. 2 seconds later, someone from The Voice rings up and like, "Hi, Kieron. Yeah, so I just wanted to talk to you about your phone." I'm like, "Hi there. How's it going?"
Just a different person.
Oh, it's just like they were like, "How are you doing?" I'm like, "Great," and I was like that close to crying 2 seconds before. Or
So you're talking there about the kind of split between what you do daytime and the music and things like that. What's happening right now? What are you doing right now? What are you working on? What's kind of happening right now?
as soon as I get home from work, writing, recording songs, which is like what most musicians do, singer-songwriters do. But on top of that, I wanted to sort of like, I had this idea before The Voice, and saying that The Voice got in the way is, no, the Voice was a really good thing to get in the way. But it let's just say this project got put on pause, and it's something that, like, you know, I'm not expecting it to go anywhere or do really good or whatever. It's just something that I've always wanted to do. The idea is that I thought, well, I want to do music videos along with the music itself to tell the story more. I love TV series. I love cliffhangers and stuff, and I've always had like ideas for TV series and stuff. So I've got friends and stuff like that that do this sort of stuff. So I'm working with them to create music videos and songs, and they all link together. So there's like a sort of cliffhanger, if you like, at the end of each episode, which will go into the next one. Yeah, well, thanks. You're like
fangirling. Wow.
You were actually there was a look of impressed. Like
But I'm not like impressed for the last 20 answers, or
no, average sort of like I do this every day.
That shows you're improving then. We're
yeah.
there now.
You see, there's the 1 thumbs up and the 1,000,000 thumbs down there, and that's what
There's
makes
one
it.
from me.
That's what makes it worth it. They'll all link. They'll be the same characters. Well, you know, some might die or whatever, but there's gonna be the main character. Obviously, for budgetal reasons and whatever. Budgetal is that a word? For budget reasons, I'm the main character because I'm always available to do my own stuff.
I kind of want to finish this interview on something a bit fun.
Okay.
And so I know that you've been asking on Instagram for some questions.
Yeah.
From people that follow you. So we have a list of questions here. So I'm just going to rattle these off as quick as possible. Let's get through them. If you had 3 wishes, what would they be?
To be much more successful in music. So in other words, I want this music series to be a success, whatever that means.
Okay.
I want people to like it. Should I go for like a world peace sort of one?
You do whatever you like.
Yeah,
It's your time.
I want us to figure out this whole global warming stuff. Definitely. What I really actually want is for us to also figure out like the whole mental health thing in the world, because so many people are suffering.
That's a really good one.
You know what I mean? It's like we kind of don't have the solution to this yet. Whether it's a lack of funding or whatever, I don't know. I'm not the answers guy. I'm just the sort of like, I've got more questions than answers.
I rarely say this, but I really enjoyed that answer.
Oh,
just
thanks.
to put it out there.
Thanks.
Your second question from your followers is, if I'm going to Liverpool next week, that's obviously where you're from. Where's good to go in Liverpool?
I like a good dance, because if you're in somewhere.
That's great news for me. I know what we're doing after we finish filming this.
on a Monday night. Then again, it is Manchester, so the
Monday night in Manchester, guys.
But Manchester's also great, by the way. Otherwise, I wouldn't be living here.
That was like shout out to Manchester.
Yeah. So yeah, Liverpool. I'm more like top end of town because there's a couple of like more quiet places you can have a drink and a chat, and then it gets a bit more like you can get your boogie on.
Yes. Oh, I feel like this is either like deep or really cheesy, but where would you take a girl on a first date?
It depends on the girl. I'm not going into detail with that one.
This is getting deep. Keep going.
Yeah. So you've kind of got to gauge what the girl is into, even if you've only been like usually most people have never met the person they're about to go on a date with. So you've got to find out some information about them and gauge it on that, or just ask them. Just say like, what do you like to do? Where do you like to go? And then, base it on that.
This isn't on there, but I'm going to ask you this off my own back. Where would you like to be taken on a first date? 21st century, it's fine for a woman to ask a guy on a date.
Yeah.
Saying, I'm taking you out. If a woman was going to surprise you, where would you want to be taken on a first date?
So I hate going for meals on a first date.
Okay.
Because let's say it's not going well, you're locked there
Yeah.
for at least so much. You know, there's no excuse that can get you out of that meal, and I hate wasting food.
Can I have a doggy bag for you?
Yeah, can you imagine that? So I really gotta go. The kid's crying. You don't have a kid. Not talking about that.
And then they spat my gin everywhere.
Actually, I like a good drink, but maybe like more of a like a wine tasting. I'm not even that. Even that much into wine.
No, but it's sociable. Like, it gives you to talk about. Like,
it's like the focus, isn't it? It's like the way people put the television on in the room and they're not even watching it. It's just that background noise thing. So you can like enjoy getting to know the person, but you've got that thing which is the focus.
I got you.
Yeah.
Interesting. There's a lot of people like writing that in their notes section, and you're dropping in the DMs like, wine tasting.
Wine tasting by me, Mr. Smith.
I thought this was going to be how tall are you? Maybe you could answer that question first. It's how tall are you, but how tall does your hair make you feel?
Make me feel.
How tall are you, first of all?
I'm just under 6 foot. But with shoes.
Like every guy says, I'm nearly there.
I honestly thought I was 6 foot. And then I went forward, you know, like when you sign up for a new GP.
Oh, and they do the whole...
Yeah, they do the whole health check thing, don't they, to have your own record. And she was like, how tall are you? And I went 6 foot, and she actually didn't believe me. She went,
on there.
I'm just going to check. And I was like, cheeky. And then she was like, yeah, I thought so. You're 5'11" and a half. And I was like, just say 6 foot. She full on like made me take my shoes off and all. Oh, obviously she's a medical professional and I'm not going to argue with that. But like,
big up the NHS.
But for argument's sake, you just say 6. I don't know.
I had the opposite thing lately because I thought I was 5'3" and I went and they told me I was 5'4". So I was like,
good for you.
I was like, yes. But then, how tall does your hair make you feel?
It doesn't.
Do you peak the 6 foot? Do we go above the 6 foot with the hair?
I've never actually thought about like, if I make my hair more bushy, it tends to do that on its own anyway. But like if I go for that and make me look taller.
Do you plan to enter any other TV talent shows?
Immediately, no. But never say never. Let's say I become bored with what I'm doing in music, and then another scout comes along or something like that. I'd be like, yeah, I'll do it. You know, even if it's just to like take a day off work and go for a little audition.
So go on, let's finish on a cheesy note.
Okay.
Because we've had some fun questions, we've been a bit deep at times. Let's finish on something just a little bit cheesy. You know, there might be people watching this who've kind of followed your journey or they kind of really enjoy what you put on. They might be watching this now. If they're kind of at the end of this, then they must really like you because this is just me and you yabbering on for a long time.
Yeah.
What's your kind of message to those who've supported you, who followed you, who subscribed and you know, etc.? What's your message to them at the moment?
Obviously thanks, but it's weird when people say like, because there are actually people there that like will message me a lot of the time or comment on things or even just like stick a thumbs up on things or share things, and I've never met those people, and it's still one of those, you know, like the voice I was saying before, like can't believe that actually happened. So I sort of push it to the back of my brain, and it's stuff like that as well. Like I kind of feel bad saying this. It's like when I'm saying thank you, that's me sort of like I'm in disbelief that someone's like, oh, I really enjoyed this, or that guitar part that you put in there, you enjoy the sounds that
Do you think that will ever go away, that kind of what on earth?
Never. No, don't think so. But I think if I ever like, say I have like kids or I've just got a new niece and I really want her to be into music without like forcing it on her. Yeah.
Just handing her a violin. Like,
yeah, I kind of want them to never feel like that if they're good. And I'll tell them if they're good or not. So I'll be like, you know, you are good and like you should expect good comments. And if they're bad, like don't feel bad. There's probably like they're either just being nasty because they're jealous or whatever. Or, you know, you might have actually been bad on that one occasion and you learn from it. And hopefully I'll make it worth people's while them following me.
Well, there we go. That was a nice note to end on. So thanks for chatting.
Cheers,
I was going to say let's do another cheers. And whatever's to follow, the pub crawl or the wine tasting or whatever else, cheers and thanks for a nice chat.
Thank you very much. Cheers for doing this as well.
No the answers. We're fighting circumstances. How typical.